What's good? What it do? What's good? What it do? What's good? What it do? Y'all see from the title, it's something that I want to address. And this freestyle, free form type of video that I'm gonna drop on y'all. I just want y'all to know that's living here in any major metropolitan area in the US. This ain't living. This ain't living. The majority of us, 99% of us, are just existing. We're just surviving. We are not thriving. Only a very small population of people are living in this country, and those are the wealthy and the rich. Why are they living? Because they're able to do things other than just work. They're able to enjoy more activities. They're able to go, they're able to do things, man. Like afford to do things, travel, whether that's going on a travel, that's going to Yosemite, going to, hiking, skiing, various retreats. They are able to have a better existence. What do I mean by that? I'm gonna give y'all an example, right? I spend time, I'm in Southern California, but I spend time in Beverly Hills, right? I go to Beverly Hills because I'm just gonna be honest. I don't like being in the effing hood. Ain't nothing pleasurable, ain't nothing happy about being in the hood. So I go to whenever I have the opportunity, I go to Beverly Hills because I want to see I want to experience what it's like to have to live life. And so when I go to Beverly Hills, I'm seeing these rich people and they're living life. They're they seem to be happy, right? They're on Rodeo Drive. They're sitting at the restaurants, eating their food, having a family meal, having a family outing, drinking their coffees, whatever they're doing things that working poor cannot do because we got to have either one or two jobs, three jobs just to survive. So I like to go over there and see what I think life is supposed to be lived. And I'm not saying that we got to be materialistic. I'm not saying things got to be materialistic. Follow me, y'all. I'm about to go in here and shop. I'm not saying that shit got to be materialistic. That we got to have Bentleys and Rolls Royces and shit like that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that these people have the freedom because they're able to make an income to do what the fuck they want to do. Period. And if you're not making enough money to really do what the fuck you want to do, then you're not living, you're just existing. And a lot of us are in denial, especially in lower income areas. We are in denial because we think that we got these little material possessions that we are living. We're not living, we're just existing. And so we like to cope by, we like to cope with our reality because we think that we are actually living life. I'm telling you, man, until you get outside of your bubble, until you travel, you'll see how much you're not living life. You work in a job that you don't like, right? Motherfuckers work. Let me address this shit, right? You go work a bullshit ass job, and your bullshit ass job, you're barely making enough to get by. You gotta pay these bills, right? These bills are constantly going up. And you think that you're living because you got your little place, you got your mortgage that you can barely afford, you got your apartment that you can barely afford, but you think you're living because you can go off and you know and you can get the latest iPhone. You can go to the mall and put yourself in debt using your credit card to buy things that you can't afford. You think you're living because you can get your beer on the weekend or you can get your alcohol on the weekend and get drunk and sit in front of your TV and watch Netflix or watch TV. That ain't fucking living. You living when you traveling. You living when you doing things. And I'm gonna say, and I know that the majority of Americans don't get to experience that life. Don't get to experience that life. I come from truck driving. I was truck driving. And being a truck driver, I got to travel all around the US. And I would stop, I would stop at like certain tourist attractions, right? Like, let's say when I was in Arizona, I went to the Grand Canyon. And I would see all these white families and they got their campers, they got their white children, they're enjoying the festivities, they're enjoying things. But we can't enjoy shit because we poor. You see? We think we living, we not living, bro. We not living. I'm telling you, we not living. What's up to everybody, man? We just existing, bro. I'm telling you, and the majority of people that live in the ghetto, they don't know that they're not living, they just existing. But I got the chance to travel this world, so I know what living is like. I know what it means to live, to really enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know that until you get outside of that bubble. You don't know that because all you know is your surrounding, bro. Shout out to everybody in the chat, but it's some things I want to address, man. My last video, I got a lot of heat, man. I got a lot of heat with my last video. If y'all subscribe to my channel, y'all can go ahead and check out my last video. But let me just, when I was speaking, man, I'm not speaking on the entire Hispanic community. As I said in that video, I grew up in Northern California. And to be more specific, I grew up in Oakland, California. So my experience with my Hispanic brothers and sisters was different because I don't know, when I was coming up, I can't recall many situations, whether I was in elementary school, middle school, high school, where it was this racial animosity between the blacks and the Hispanics and where I was coming up. And I only experienced this animosity. I only seen this animosity when I moved here to Southern California. And it's new to me. Like transparent, you know what I'm trying to say. For full transparency, I got locked up before. I went to jail before, and I seen the dynamics in jail of the racial politics. The blacks over here, the whites over there, the Hispanics over there, the Asians, they kind of with us, like they call them the others. But even in that experience in Northern California, because I went when I got locked up, it was over some BS. You know, I wasn't guilty of it, but you know, being black in America, it is what it is. But when I was in there for those few months, even the racial dynamic there, it wasn't acrimonious. Like it was like more of a respect thing, right? So okay, it's like okay, this is how we keep the peace, right? Everybody got their own section, and as long as we have respect, everything is cool. On Southern California side, I hear it's like more of a racial thing. Like we gotta attack the blacks just because they black. It ain't even like, you know, it's some other shit. So I was just addressing in that video my experience from coming from Northern California, primarily raised in Northern California, and then coming here to Southern California. And I'm pretty sure anybody that's living in other parts of the US will have a different experience, you know? And I only speak of my experience because I'm coming from Northern California to Southern California. So me growing up in Northern California is totally different. The dynamics are different than it is here in the Southern California. It's a total different dynamic. And that's just being honest. That's just being transparent. That's just being real. You feel me? Right here, I'm in here shopping, y'all. But I grew up, man, bro. Growing up in Oakland, man. Going to school in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? I had some cool Mexican bros, man, that I mess with. You feel me? So I gotta be honest about that. But you know, this Southern California thing is like more of a racial thing that I ain't vibing with. I ain't vibing with. Shit, man. You can go see. Tell me this: if you in Southern California, you know I'm not lying. You can see NK written on the wall. You know what NK means? I ain't gonna say it on here, but you don't see that shit in Northern California. You don't see that shit out there. Tell me what y'all think about that, man. Tell me what y'all think. Hold on, y'all. Do I need a bag? No, I'm good. Y'all enter my number here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. No bag.
Let me get a bag, Eric.
I'll take your number.
Yeah, let me get it. You can't enter it? No, I want to put it right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of,
No, if that's already, you can enter right here if you want to.
well, I'm kind of on live. I don't want to get my number out.
Then
How do we, how do,
I have to put it right here on this
okay, hold on, y'all. Let me pause it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm back. But, it's my guy, Eric, right there. Briefly put him on. I don't put Eric on social media if he ain't okay with being on there. Eric a cool dude, though. That's my guy, Eric. He a cool dude. Eric always showing love when I step in this supermarket. Yeah. Like that. Give me the fist that. Give me the fist that. Sometimes you a little too aggressive, but all right. Hey yo, but look. So addressing my last video, I would just speak all my Hispanics that watched that video. I don't understand why y'all was getting upset if I'm just telling you my experience living in both regions of California, and I was just giving a comparison. I don't know what was the animosity about, but I'm just giving a comparison. And this is on all levels, man. This is in the workforce. In the workforce, they be on that bullshit in the workforce, the politics, all that. In the political arena, everywhere. Let me see, y'all. Just picking my lottery numbers, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. Headed to the gym. Headed to the gym to get my workout on, like I like to do it. Gotta head to that gym to get my workout on. But yeah, I just I wanted to address that, y'all, because a lot of y'all thought that it was more, I was coming from a, I was coming from a hostile point of view. I wasn't, man. When you speak your truth, sometimes people gonna love it, some people not gonna love it, but you gotta speak your truth. You gotta speak your truth, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it is your truth. And all I was doing was speaking my truth and giving a perspective from someone that comes from one region to another region. And my experience out here in Southern California, it started a year ago when I came here for a job. And I realized at this job, right, in the corporate office, the only people that was working in the corporate office it was predominantly Hispanic, and it was a few Asians there, like one Asian. And I wanted to, because I have the qualifications, because I have the degrees and whatnot, I wanted to move up. I got into the trucking business because you got to pay bills, you got to make money, and I couldn't find work in what I went to school for. So I said, let me do this. So I did that, right? But getting into the trucking business, I knew that that's not where I wanted to stay. But I saw it as a way to get my foot in the door and then move up. So when I was doing the trucking side for like 3 to 4 months, look how hostile he is, right? I'll give you an example. The dude is just mad because I'm going the speed limit. But look how this is a Hispanic guy. Look how he looked at me. Looked at me with a sense of contempt. But looked at me. I'm just driving. I'm literally just driving, and the dude came on my right and just looked at me with contempt, just because I'm driving. But I veered off, and I get that all day. You get that all day. They just seem to be mad and upset and angry whenever they see a black person. I don't know what it is, and it's the energy. Because let me tell you this, man, you ain't got to say shit, right? 90% of communication is body language. 90% of communication is body language. Only 10% is verbal. What kind of car you got? I got a 1990 Mazda. Yeah, 1990 Mazda. But so when I went to this job, and I knew that my intentions was not to stay at the level that I was at, which was basically driving the trucks, I said, okay, I'm gonna do it for 6 months, get past probation, and then I'm gonna start to apply for higher positions, higher roles that I'm qualified for, which would be in the office. Well, do you guys know that I was blocked from getting these higher roles by the Hispanics that worked in the office, the ones that were my managers, right? Because this is a big corporation, but the headquarters are in Arkansas, right? That's the main headquarters. That's where they the HR is. That's where they make all the hiring decisions. That's where the CEO is. But they have they have like terminals, they call them terminals, all over the US. Well, the terminal that I was at, all the managers, they call them driver managers, terminal managers, they are Hispanic. So they were, when I would apply for a position that the corporate office put on the website, they would have to ask the managers that were over me, which was in the local office I was working at in LA, they would have to ask them, hey, how's this guy? How do you feel about him? And the Hispanic managers were blocking me. They were, and how you gonna say, how do you know that, Jay? Because you can look when they send you that email. Yeah. So there's ways you can look at it, right? You can look at the email, but you can look at that job posting and you can see the manager's name that was responsible for putting that role out or putting that for that position. And that's how I would know that these Hispanic managers were blocking me from getting the roles. But guess what would happen? When that position would be filled, guess who would come in? Guess who would come in to fulfill that role? You guessed it. Another Hispanic individual would fill that empty role. Now, you think that was by accident? You think that was by, there weren't no qualified black individuals applying for that role? So these individuals were blocking me on the corporate side of the game because that's how it goes. They got a foothold in the industry, and they're gonna make sure that they look out for they own. Even though that's kind of illegal, but they find ways to do it. And I would say that pretty much all groups do that. All groups would do that. I don't think black Americans do that too much. I think we're more opening, we're more welcoming. I think that we've only become this way because of how other groups have been with us, which made us in turn reactionary. And that's what we have been displaying. We have been displaying reactionary energy because we're just responding to how we are responding to how people have been treating us, how these other groups have been treating us when we have always welcomed these other groups into the black neighborhoods. The Korean shops, who supports those? That's why the Korean shops put their shops in black communities, because black women support them. The hair shops, all that. The nail shops, all the liquor stores, the Chinese food spot, they put them in there. But meanwhile, all these groups have shown animosity towards us. And so the now newer generations, we have now said, well, we're not going to be like our older generations. Like we are now going to show the same energy that you have been giving towards us. We're going to give it back towards y'all. And that's the reality. Now, y'all, this is just a random video, and I'm heading to the gym right now, but I just wanted to get on here and I just wanted to address some things because I see that I've been getting a lot of comments and basically saying I'm not supposed to talk. Like, I just got on there talking about my experience. That's it. Speaking my truth of what I have been experiencing as you know, my personal experience. Yeah, that's nice right there. So shout out to everybody that tapped in, man. I've made my way to the gym, and I'm about to do my thug thing. And I will tap in with y'all later. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Shout out to everyone. Check out my videos. I got a lot. But leave it all with this, man. We got to start living life and not just existing. And I know in America it's hard. It's hard because, you know, if you don't get lucky and find that dream job or that dream role that puts you in a position to do that, or you're not a trust fund baby, it's hard, man. You know, it ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta find a way, even if that means leaving the US. We gotta find a way. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.